Hey everybody, it's Mr. Giles with a quick tutorial on how to give your pivot figure a custom head. So if you've ever hey, that solid black dot for a head is cool and all, but I'd really like to give my figure a custom head. Now I'm not going to get into all the hows and whats of how to fix this in Paint.net, but I use Paint.net to resize the head, to clean up the background. Find a picture, anything. I mean, you can find Brad Pitt. You can find a picture of a dog, Homer Simpson. I just used a picture of a dog today. And I'm going to show you how to take that, attach it to your character so that when you move your character, the head moves with it. So you don't have to move the head separately. You can do that, but wouldn't it be great if you could move the character with the head? So I'm going to teach you how to do that today. Keep watching. Here we go. Okay, step one, find a picture of a head. I wrote cartoon head PNG. The PNG just means it'll have a transparent background. So if you click on it and you see the checkerboard behind it, that's a good indication that your head will have a cartoon background. I'm going to use this picture of a cartoon dog. I'm using Google Chrome, so I'm right-clicking and saying copy image. You can also, I think, copy, there's different options, but whatever it is to copy the picture, copy image. Sometimes you can drag that off, but I want to go into Paint.net. I'm going to go File, New, and I'm just going to say OK to whatever size it gives me. I'm going to paste it. And there's my dog head. I'm going to make it smaller, so I'm going to resize it so that it fits the dimensions of my animation. In this case, I'm going to make the head about, let's say, 200. Okay, 200 pixels wide. I'm going to say OK, and it shrinks it down. Now that I've got the head, I've noticed a problem in Pivot when I import an image. It'll make, for example, the white of the eyes will disappear and it'll just be like a blank space, which looks really weird. So I'm going to put a layer of green behind it, kind of like a green screen. And I'm going to select layer 2 here, which I drug to the bottom. I'm going to fill it with green. And now this green, in fact, I'm going to fill the shadow with green too. Okay. Now what that green should do is it should disappear when I save it mostly. So I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to make sure that I change this to a PNG. PNG, that's the transparency layer. I'm going to save it on my desktop. I'm going to call this Dog Head 3. If you've done this more than once, every time you stick a new item into Pivot, if it's don't save it with the same name because it won't recognize it. You'll have problems. So I'm going to call it that, Dog Head 3, because I've done this 3 times previous. I'm going to flatten, and that's weird. His whole face. Oh, I just clicked on his face. Okay, so now let me open up Pivot. Now I'm going to go to File, Load Sprite Image, because we've created an image. Okay, and I'm going to go Dog Head 3. I'm going to say Open. There we go. There's my dog head. Now, here's the trick. How do we connect the dog head to the figure? So now if I were to animate this the old-fashioned way, I would have to go Add Frame, then I'd move this, then I'd have to move the head, and then I'd say Add Frame, and I'd move the head, and it's just a real pain. It's a real pain. It's cool. I mean, you can make it work, but I want it so that when I move the character, the head moves along. Well, you have this feature called a link right here. So if I click on, let's say that this, on the dog, and I click the link button. So if I click on the link button, and then I select, so what it does is it takes the orange dot of the object that you said link, and you link it to wherever you want. So I could connect it to his, let's say I connect it to his head right here. So it's going to connect the orange dot I had. So now it's connected. Now I can move the whole thing, but that's not a very good spot for it. And really, I mean, I guess if I put it on his arm, like maybe right here, let me just, I'll click on the dog again, and I'll say unlink, okay? And let's say if I moved it, now I'm going to try to link, if I link it to his hand, it's kind of like I could move the hand and tilt it down so it sort of fit on his head, then his arm's got to be out the whole time. That's kind of a pain. I want it to be right in the middle where his head goes. So how do I do that? Well, here's how you do that. I just figured this out. It took me a while to figure this out, but when I did, I was very happy. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on the Edit Figure, and I've selected the dog head. I'm going to Edit Figure, and I come into the Edit Figure mode. Okay. Okay, so you're going to take your dog figure, and you're going to click on the Line tool. And whenever you click on the Line tool, you have to click on one of the other dots. So I'm just going to click on this one, and I'm going to drag a line so it's right in the middle of his neck, right there, like that. Oh, and then I click again to lock it there. And then I'm going to click this button, and this is the Set Segment as Main Handle, which is going to change the orange dot. It's going to move it from the far left to the middle. Okay. Then I'm going to shrink this handle because I don't want there to be this big stick floating in the air. So I'm going to shrink this down. You'll see the thickness is changing right here at the bottom. It says thickness 2. I'm going to make it 0. So now it's 0 thickness. Okay. Now see, I'm moving him by his head. Now I'm going to leave that like that. And I'm going to say File, Add to Animation, and I'm just going to call this dog head middle dot, or what. You don't have to. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to say OK. Okay. So now here's my old one. I'm just going to delete that one. Here's my new one. Look at that. Now, when I click on the link and I click it right, I'm going to click it right to his neck spot. Bam. There's my head. And if I turn this dot, it rotates it around the head. And then I can actually reposition the head, like if his head got knocked off or something. I guess I could do that. I could do that move, but I really don't want to do that. And now my figure moves with a character. So now when I animate, I can move my dog without having to slowly adjust the head every time. It saves me a lot of time. You can do this with lots of things. For example, if you had a lightsaber or something you wanted to put in your character's hand, maybe they're running with something, attach it to their hand. You don't even have to attach it permanently. You can attach it temporarily. So let's say that this little head here is a purse or something, like this head right here. And let's say I want to put it in his hand so he can run across the screen with this dog head in his hand. Well, I can just say attach, and I can attach it to his hand right there. And then I can animate him running across the screen. Then when I want him to let go, I just select the object again, and I detach that object. And then I don't have to move each thing separately. This saves you a lot of time in animating. Hope you have fun with this tutorial. I hope that gives you lots of creative ideas for creating your own custom characters. And you can do this with lots of body parts too, so you could actually connect lots of different body parts. It gets more complicated, but you could theoretically make an entire body with different arm segments and everything that you could animate the whole body, a custom body. So there you go. Have fun with that, and see you next time. This is Mr. G signing off with another Pivot tutorial. Oh, it's still recording. Bam, and I'm done.